Alright guys, this time we're going to be adding multiple maps to the FiveM server under one entity. So basically this will follow the last video we made, which was adding the Yoshi Valley map. Similar method, so that's why I left it. In order to do the first map, you do everything that I did in the first video. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out, because that will literally tell you how to do this video, or half of this process. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go back into the resources. So like I said, we added Yoshi Valley, but we're gonna rename it to something that we'll remember. So we're gonna have multiple maps, so let's just call it maps. So go into it, and this looks exactly like how we had the files for Yoshi Valley. Now, first thing we're gonna do is we're going to go to our Yoshi meta, or whatever your first map will be, and we're actually going to rename it. So in this case, it's going to be the same as your folder name, so maps. And we're going to go right in here, and we're going to look for a few key folders. So if you go down to around 40, you're going to see resources Yoshi/Yoshi.json. Now that first Yoshi, you're going to want to change that to whatever you name your file, so in this case maps, and then that is the same for the water one. Now we're going to leave the JSON, the Yoshi.json, because that file is going to stay as it is in your resource folder. Now we're going to save it for now, and we're going to forget about it. We're going to come back to it later. Next thing you're going to want to do is open your stream folder, and we didn't touch this up before, but what you're going to want to do, just to make your life easier, you're going to grab everything from here and just drag it out, put it somewhere. Now everything that was in this folder, so it'll be things like your YDRs and YTDs, you're going to grab everything from here and you're going to drag it into the stream folder. Now be warned, when adding multiple maps, this folder will get very, very large and very, very disorganized if you're sorting it alphabetically. But you shouldn't have to touch anything here unless you're going to be editing your collision and your 3D models, but that'll be something completely different. Now we're going to go back out to the main thing here, and we're going to drop the RPF that was in it right into the main folder. And we can just get rid of this because we don't need it anymore. So stream with all your files and everything here as is. Now, adding the second map. Now, what we're going to do for the second map, and you'll probably see a little jump there because the file that I had originally was unfortunately the wrong file. So we're going to do Northcliffe. So we don't need to drag and drop everything in like we did with the first map. So we'll go in here, and this is what I was talking about before, where everything was set up for me. But I'm going to ignore all this for now. So what I need is everything that was in the stream folder, or in other maps cases, this will be an image folder, and it'll have this RPF, and it'll have a folder with all the stuff in it, like the Yoshi Valley one did. So we're just going to drag all of this right into the stream folder. And like I said, this gets very large very fast. We're going to go back, and we're going to go back, and we're going to grab that RPF and place it right in here. And never mind that says V, we'll get back to that later. And also, the one thing that we're going to grab is the JSON file of your map, and we're going to drag it right in there. We don't need the images because we already have it. We don't need the water because we already have it. And the map name meta we'll be adding to our own that we made here. So we don't need this anymore. Now, speaking of maps, we know that this is, I don't know how to pronounce it, I'm not going to try it. Nordschleife, let's call it. So we're going to go back to those files that we edited previously, which are here. So you're going to want this same format, so it's easier to just copy all of this And it doesn't matter where you put it. I'm just going to put it right under here, make a new line, paste it. Now, obviously we don't want two Yoshis, so we're going to put in the new map. So I don't even know how to spell it. So we're going to go like this. How do you spell it? Nord, S-C-H, L-E-I-F-E. I'm just going to double check because I've already made a mistake. And the spelling on this is important. If you do it wrong or miss one letter, your whole thing will crash or just not load, and it's a pain in the ass. Anyway, saving that. We don't need this anymore. So we're going to go back to our resource file, and this resource file will be the same that we made previously in the video. So we have all the Yoshi files here. So we've made a change, whereas we changed our meta file to the maps. So we're just going to go maps, which also reminds me, up here, you're going to want to rename this to the main folder as well, so maps. So as well as the maps, we've also added a couple new files. So we're going to go down to the water, comma, new line, apostrophe. We added the vrpf, so v.rpf. Now, when I was talking about before with this, if you add multiple maps, so like 3, 4, or more at a time, and that map file contains an RPF which is named V, you only need one of them because they're all the same. So as long as you have one, you're good to go. You'll only need to add the JSON file, which will be the next line here. So I'm going to make sure I spell it correctly again. So Nord, S-C-H-L-E-I-F-E, and that's a JSON file, so we do .json. And that's all we've added. Now, if you want to add multiple, like 3, 4, etc., you do the exact same thing. You add the JSON file, and you add the RPF file if it's uniquely named. And then you have to make sure you add it to the resource file. And we save that. Again, adding more maps, you're going to want to drag these YDR files right into the stream folder for your corresponding map. So that's everything you need there. So we're going to go back out. Remember, we named it maps to the main thing here. Going to open up our setmp. And it's the exact same thing as adding the cars or adding the maps. New line, hyphen, space, maps, or whatever you named it to. Save that. Delete your cache because we changed some stuff. And launch the server. So same thing as always, just going to make sure it goes properly. There's no errors. Because like I said, if you miss a single letter or anything, it will not work. So we see starting maps, everything's loaded, started, good to go, no errors, should be good to run it. Then I'll be with you in a sec. Same thing as always here, we're going to put our own little IP in so we can get to our server, 127.0.0.1, and we're going to connect. And the main objective here we're going to see is the Yoshi Valley in the middle area, as we saw with the previous video. Then the Nordschleife map, which is a very large circuit. I've loaded it in the past, and that should be going around the entirety of the map. Alright, so as expected, we can see both maps are in here, with Yoshi Valley right in the middle, and the Nordschleife map around the outside. And you can see that this is a much bigger map. With multiple maps, depending on how the mod maker made it, they may be on top of each other, they may be in different places. It's another process in itself to move the model around in this 3D environment. I'm in the process of figuring it out myself. The plugin for the 3D modeling program doesn't want to work for me, but I will be figuring that out in the next day or two, and I'll post a video on how to move your objects and your entities around in a 3D space so that they don't conflict with each other. And there you go. Now you have multiple maps. Have fun.